Hi everyone, Cendril, and welcome to another day in Stardew Valley, along with my girlfriend Finn.
Hello, Knight of Skylark here, aka Finn Feather Dragon.
And today, we don't really have any questions yet, so
Gonna go for it.
feel free to leave questions. So I'm going to ask Finn a question,
Oh no.
and we'll see how she answers. Wanted, 1 fresh lobster for a marvelous bisque I'm creating. Do I have a lobster?
Probably.
That's fine. So, my question for Finn, how much of Stardew Valley have you seen?
I have seen your Let's Play of it. Another LPer went through. He didn't go for till the end of the series, like you're wanting to go to. I think he stopped halfway through the second year, and I guess in total time, upwards of maybe 20 to 30 hours.
Okay. So my question for you is, how do you feel about Stardew Valley?
I like that it's very Harvest Moon-ish. Oh, we just have a crayfish. Me. Anyway, I've liked Harvest Moon. I like that it's very Harvest Moon-ish, but it seems like it's a little bit more forgiving on some fronts. But it's good for just like a chill game. Just have fun, relax, just whatever.
Okay.
I don't own it personally yet. Waiting for it to go on sale, but yeah.
Alright. And, what do you like about the Harvest Moon series?
The only really reference I have for the Harvest Moon series, the first one I ever played was A Wonderful Life on the GameCube. After it got stellar reviews, I'm like, how on earth it's a farming game? Why is this getting so much good reviews? So we bought it. We found it on sale when a video store was going out of business, sadly. Anyway, so I bought it, started playing it. Actually had to be tapped on the shoulder and pulled away from the TV to go eat supper. I played it for 10 hours straight that first day I got it. It was just, I don't know what enthralled me in it. I was just hooked. It was just fun to feel like you had something to do, get up. I had this whole plan of who I was going to woo, how to take care of my animals, what I was going to plant. And I don't know, it was just really engaging for me for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Harvest Moon. I could spend hours upon hours playing Harvest Moon type games. And this one's no exception. Stardew Valley is amazing. There's even, more stuff to do here than in a typical Harvest Moon game. Just more things that you can go to, more activities. There's a lot to do in Stardew Valley. I think that's what really says it. Oh, wow.
Oh. Well, we need to make sure we have plenty of hay.
Well, we have plenty of hay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's the auto dispenser.
Yeah. So now you won't forget to feed Sep.
That's awesome. Now we need to go get animals.
Cat, you need to go away. Thank you.
Bye, cat. Okay, that is really cool.
That is so much hay in there. Wow.
I'll have to... Oh, and there goes the wind. A few games... I don't know if I've talked about this yet, but have you heard of Rune Factory?
I have heard of it, but I have never played it or seen it.
Okay, I've played the latest Rune Factory 4. And it has a few Harvest Moon type elements, but you don't do those too often, like this part. But it does have some Harvest Moon elements. The big thing is that it's like a RPG. Like you up your stats, you learn spells,
Okay.
like it's more of an action RPG, but it does have some of the same feeling of Harvest Moon, because you can plant some stuff to like grow like stat boosting items and food and things. You can cook, you can fish to like get items. So it has some elements the same, but more RPG-ish. It's a lot of fun.
Wasn't there a game like that for, I think it was on the DS. Oh crap, I can't remember its name now, of course. It was like you said, an action-adventure RPG, but you could take on so many different jobs and...
Fantasy Life?
Yes.
Fantastic game as well. That's the other one I was going to mention. It has a lot of the same things like this. Not as much the farming aspect, but it just has the same feel.
Right.
You could do a whole bunch of things. I loved Fantasy Life. Had a lot of fun with it. I still have it on the DS. That is a game that if I ever got a DS recorder, that is one of the games that I would Let's Play.
Okay.
And just because it'd be a light game and it'd be a lot of fun. Like, it's a very laid back type game.
And need more water.
Yeah. Per usual. But those games I really like. I don't know if we'll ever see games like those again. Like,
Well, I think we'll see games like them, but maybe not done well. If that makes sense.
yeah, I'd like to see a game. I'd like to see a Fantasy Life 2, because Fantasy Life was so much fun. And I'd love to see it with like some actual online capability. Like, there was a little bit of online, but it was only Street Pass, or like you had to be close to the person.
Like local online?
Yeah, it was only like local online.
Okay.
And I don't have anybody. None of my friends have a DS, so I don't have anybody to play with. But it would be. It seemed like a really fun game because you could like make weapons and armor and stuff. You could do blacksmith.
Yeah, I saw someone do a preview of it on one of their videos, where I think he went blacksmith, and it's just like you're just having fun. You're almost just living your life in that game.
Yeah.
And you're just worried about the plot, but you get worried about the plot.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is, and that's so much fun. I really like that you take on these different professions, and you're not stuck to one profession. You can change whenever.
Yeah.
And do a whole bunch of different professions. And I really would have liked to have made stuff for other people, like people that were just starting out, or didn't go, wanted to fight but never went into a fighting profession.
Right.
And didn't have, swords or anything. They weren't blacksmiths. They'd be like, oh yeah, I'm a blacksmith. Here, I can make blah blah,
Make a broadsword or whatever.
Yeah, you make, whatever the starting weapon you need is. And yeah, I just always thought that was really cool.
Like, being able to change your career, so to speak, it works too. Because let's say you end up in an area where everything is only weak to magic. Okay, you can go be a mage class, grind a little bit, and then go back to that area, and you're not just screwed because you picked fighter at the beginning. Yeah,
and it was really laid back. It was really well done. And I'd love to see a Fantasy Life 2. I hope they make it, add even more stuff to it. I think it'd be great. And there was a main plot to it, but that was, you did it when you wanted to. Like, exactly. That wasn't the main thing to me. The main thing was ranking up in my profession, because every profession had its own little plot as well. Like its subplot.
Yeah, but the plot wasn't like overbearing, do this now or something.
Yeah, no, it really wasn't. You chose when you wanted to go to that area and give it a try. You chose when to kind of advance the main plot. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and hopefully they'll make another one.
Maybe. I mean, was Nintendo was that one third party? I think it was.
That's a great question. I honestly don't remember.
I can actually look that up real quick.
Yes, I am playing the game.
The advantage of having a co-host.
That's true. Click. Okay.
Do.
And this goes to the community hall.
Yeah, it looks like it was third party.
Okay. Well, hopefully they're still around and they make another.
If Nintendo behaved, let's be honest here.
Yeah, I mean that's true. Hopefully they will, because it was really good, and I would love to see a sequel to that game. If you've not checked out Fantasy Life, it's a 3DS game. Came out when? 2 years ago?
I think. Sounds right.
It's not extremely old.
It's old, but not super old. 2012 it says.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so it was
It's
actually
been
old.
4 years? Wow. It doesn't feel
Yeah.
like it. It's really good. You should definitely check it out if you've not seen anything on it. Especially if you have a 3DS. If you're looking for something to play on it. Something that's kind of like this. You know, in just a little bit. Definitely give Rune Factory a look. Rune Factory 4. And Fantasy Life a look. Because they're both really fun, kind of like this, kind of laid back. You take it at your own pace. And it's not make your own fun, like the game provides the fun.
Right.
But you choose the pacing at which you want to do things.
Okay, now I have a question for you.
Mhm.
What do you think is the allure of Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon games? What do you think makes it where people just want to play them?
I would say it's the simplicity. It's a mix. It's a mix of two things. It's a mix that it's simple yet in depth, which sounds like they shouldn't go together.
Right.
But in Harvest Moon type games, Harvest Moon type games in general, that's what happens. So there is Stardew Valley, for example, is simple. You're fixing up this farm. That's the whole premise of the game. There's no super storyline, super bad guy. I tried to make Joja the bad guy at the beginning of the LP just to make it fun.
Is, so.
Yeah.
But
There's not, some big overarching
There's
super
not some-
storyline or something.
yeah,
No super bad guy, or it's not like you're playing an RPG.
the plot is you inherited a farm from your granddad. Have fun.
Yeah, I mean that's basically the plot. You inherited this farm, and now you make the most of it however you want to. So the premise of the game is really simple. You plant crops and water them and harvest them when they're ready to
And
make
get
money
Animals.
to do other stuff. Like,
Right.
The premise is very simple. And the gameplay is very simple. Once you know what you're doing, that's it. You've got the game down.
And then like the more complex bits, I guess that would be interacting with the villagers.
Yeah, it'd be
Explaining them.
it'd be learning what the villagers like, getting a wife or husband, dealing with the animals, upgrading your house, going mining. Like, there's a bunch to do, but all of it in premise is kind of simple.
Right.
Like, you learn quickly how to do all of it. And there's something relaxing about that. Like, look, we took the whole day, and I'm still not finished with stuff. And it just gives you that sense of, like, a hard day's work.
Yeah.
That, man, I did all of this. Look, I made jelly. Look, I made wine. That's really cool. Look, I planted these crops and they grow. It's the same satisfaction that, farmers and people that really do this for a living get, that I've heard.
Right.
My grandfather was a farmer on my mom's side. And that he loved it because there was just something, what he would say, there was just something about growing something and all that hard work and seeing it come to fruition. Like, you can actually see it grow.
Well, there's always something to do. My mom actually grew up on a dairy farm, so
Yeah, you're
taking
all
care of the cows. There you go.
yeah. It's you're always busy, and you get that sense here with Harvest Moon. And so people like me that would never be a farmer, it's not in my blood
No.
to be a farmer. You kind of get to experience that, with this. And
Right.
there's just something satisfying about all of it. I think that's the appeal. Plus, it's just relaxing. It's
Yeah.
even when you're super hard at work, and you're trying to get all this done before 2 o'clock shows up, and you pass out on the lawn or whatever.
Right.
You're trying to get all this stuff done. It's still a relaxing game overall. You're always having fun because it's your pace.
But that's like I said when I got in the Harvest Moon back on the GameCube. I had no clue the whole day had passed. I looked up and it was dark outside. I was like, "What?"
Yeah, it's just a great, not time waster, because you're doing stuff in the game. It's
Yeah.
just it gets time doesn't really time just passes by so fast, and it's fun, it's relaxing, it's rewarding, and you never feel like you have to do something.
You can do whatever the crap you want.
Yeah,
to
you
do.
could do whatever you want. If you want to go fishing,
Go fish.
you go fishing. Like, if you want to make a bunch of money through planting crops, like I always like to do, you plant a bunch of crops.
You go mine in the desert, mine in the mines.
Yeah, you go mining. You do what you want to do.
Do what you do.
And there's just something very appealing like that to me. When the game is done right. Now, sometimes some of the Harvest Moons don't have enough content. And you get bored of it very fast just because you do things and then it's over. That's one of the things that the later Harvest Moons always messed up to me. There was an end.
There was a quote end.
Yeah, there was like, you would, like, especially in the later Harvest Moons, you basically lived out your life.
I know in, I think it was the one on the Wii, there was an end when you revitalized the Tree of Life or whatever it was.
Okay, I never played
Yeah,
the one on the Wii. But I know that there's kind of a story into this one as well. But the game doesn't end there. That's what Harvest Moon should do. There should never be you should never see the end on the screen and then
Yeah.
have to start a new file. Like some Harvest Moons did. Like, you lived out your life basically over like 4 years. So if I brought this LP to 4 years, then the LP would definitely be over because my save file is over. Because you've lived your life and you die.
Well, that's what happened in the GameCube one that I did. I think it was a total of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 years. And then the ending is your character dies.
Yeah.
I was mad. So
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah, I mean, you live your entire life and then it's over. And I don't like that. That's not how these type of games should be. You can have an ending, like, okay, this is how you did at the end of this many years. Like,
Get graded
in
or
the,
whatever.
Yeah, you get graded basically. And the SNES version did that, and the N64 version did that. But your game didn't end there. New stuff would open up, and then you just keep going. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, I got a bad grade. And then if you wanted to restart and try to get a better grade after the 1-2 years, you could try. Or you could just keep trying to make your farm bigger and better. And that's what these games need to do. They need to keep feeding you a little more after each year, as much as they can. Excuse me, to keep the game going, because people will keep playing the game. It's just fun. It's just relaxing. You do what you want to do in it. It's rewarding, and if you get at the end of the year, and then there's new stuff like there is in Stardew Valley. There's a new seed to plant every year. There's a new person. Like, if the developer keeps that going for even a few more years, people will never stop playing Stardew Valley. It's just a game that it's enjoyable as it is. If you keep adding stuff, it'll be even more so.
I mean, I'm sure eventually you'll run out of stuff, but
Yeah,
that might
eventually-
be in a couple years. So.
Yeah, exactly. You'll run out of stuff eventually, and eventually you will get tired of the game. But for the Harvest Moon type games, you always get a lot of bang for your buck, because you just feel like you got a lot out of it, and you played it for a long time. when there's not an ending like what you talked about.
Right.
You just play for a long time and you got a lot out of it. So you don't feel bad when you finally get tired of the game or you kind of feel like you did everything and you put it down. You can always go back and do more stuff if you want to. You
Yeah.
just get the urge to do so. But you don't feel bad that it's over. It's like, man, I got a lot out of that game and it sure was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
And that's the highest praise I can give for Stardew Valley. It's worth your money. Okay. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. If you have any questions for either of us or both of us, leave them in the comments below. Please do that. And we'll get to them whenever recording will do that. And we'll answer them, and should be a lot of fun. So until next time, for the lovely Finn,
All right. I'll see y'all later, guys. Okay.
I'm Cendril9. Remember to shoot for the stars, and take care, everyone.